Okay, why don't we go ahead and get started. I would like to welcome you to the Business Plan Development webinar. And my name is Deborah Williams. Let me go ahead and get started. My name is Deborah Williams, and I am on the GCAP team as one of the facilitators and consultants that will be helping with technical assistance for a number of the businesses. This particular workshop, as you know, is the business plan is required as being a part of this program. If you just want to go through it again, feel free. So what we're going to be discussing is what business planning really is. What is this thing called business planning? And I'm sure that you've all been in business for quite a while now, but it's a good refresher to really talk about why do we do business planning. I know a lot of business owners that think this is, tedious work or busy work, or, you're too focused on getting customers or getting your products and services out, or things like generating money to do business planning. But it is absolutely critical that you do your business planning. Otherwise, you're going to have great difficulty doing all the other things that I just mentioned. We'll talk a little bit about the various types of business planning, why it's so important, and when you should do your business planning, when you should write your plan. And there may be some of you who are actually wondering, why do I need to do this? Because I have been in business for so long. I'm not looking for a loan or, anything like that. So we're gonna walk through some of those discussions as well. And then we'll dive a little bit deeper and into the subject by looking at the various components of the business plan. And we actually do have a business plan template for this program. So I'm going to walk you through that, and it will be posted on the website along with a number of other templates that you'll be able to use as you're writing your business plan. And then we'll talk about presenting your business plan and the importance of that and how to do that. And then last but not least, we're going to talk a little bit about contingency planning. I know that your goal is to stay in business and generate more business, growing your business and working with Caltrans if you're not already doing that. But we know that any business owner who's really effectively doing business planning is going to also have a contingency plan. I'm going to go ahead and start with the first section. What is business planning? And it's really very straightforward. It's the process of preparing your business for the future. As I said a minute ago, many of you, if not all of you, have probably been in business for a very, very long time and maybe haven't written a business plan in quite a while. So a lot of times when I'm working with companies who've been in business maybe even 30 years, many of them are asking me, why do I need to write a business plan? But if you really think about it, the economy has changed over the years. And whatever the reasons were that you decided to start your business, you may have very different reasons now. And so it's always important that you stop and just spend some time looking at, why am I really doing what I'm doing? My original reasons for starting my business and the original products and services that I started with, is it still relevant? Is the industry still there? Are the customers still there? Has something changed? And the only way you're really going to know that is if you sit down and spend some solid time writing a business plan. So it's like it could be like a checkup. I mean, we get checkups for our health. We need to do checkups for our business as well. The other thing that it will do is help you decide if your business idea is truly viable. Is it still viable? Things that you are doing, do they still make sense to do that? I'm sure you've heard the saying, if you continue to do the same thing, you're going to continue to get the same thing. Then it's important that you change what you're doing. The other thing is that you want to fine-tune your business concepts, which is going to really help you to have better success and growth. And I even talk to many businesses who, when they do their business plan, maybe now as opposed to 10 years ago when they started their business, they realize that so many things have changed that maybe they need to do a restart or a reboot, whatever you want to call it. They need to back up and shore up their foundation of their business so that now they truly can grow in a positive. So the business plan is going to help explain who you are. But as I said, your business plan is going to explain who you are. It's going to explain it to those who are reading it, but most importantly, it's going to explain it to you, you the owner, or you the COO. I know that we have different people on the webinar, so we have some executive assistants, we have some CEOs, some presidents. So whatever role you're in, writing the business plan is really going to explain who you are as far as your company. It's going to talk about where you're headed, where you're trying to go, where you think you're going, and then what your approach is to achieving your goals. The first person that you really need to, if I can use the word sell, on your plan and where you think you're going with your business in the future is you. Because you read it, if you don't get excited about it, then nobody else is going to get excited about it. If it doesn't clearly articulate what you are trying to accomplish with your business, then nobody else is going to get it either. So when you write your business plan, it really needs to be clear and concise so that you get excited and everybody else gets excited about your idea. And now we're going to talk about who does the planning itself. It's the business owner's role to write the business plan. Now, the owner may actually get the business plan with assistance from other people, or it may be that, it's your job, the company that you work for has told you it's your job to write the business plan, but you must have input from the actual leader, from the actual the same page. If there's partners involved in the business, I think it's really important that all the partners have a role or at least be involved in some way so that there's agreement on what the business plan is. Because if you think about it, you're writing, you may be revisiting your vision statement, your mission statement, your core values. All of those things come into play with your business plan. And so if you have a partnership, then you need to make sure that everybody is on board and going in the same direction. So you want to put together a team of people that are stakeholders or company leaders. Now, I've worked with some companies where the leadership comes together and they actually have people from all levels of the company, from frontline all the way to the managers and supervisors and whatever the highest level of organization is. And they all come together to discuss the business plan and the goals and where they want to go. Why would that be important? Well, it's important because if you have people front line, maybe the receptionist or customer service people, the people that are in your procurement department or something like that, they have a different perspective and understanding of what's going on in your business, especially when it comes to your customers, than maybe the managers and the supervisors. You may not completely be aware, depending on how large your company is, you may not be completely aware of everything that the frontline people are hearing, sort of boots on the ground from the actual customers. Sometimes it's important that you get the input from all levels of your organization. It's really important. You can get consulting support, outside experts. That's exactly what we are going to be doing in supporting you as you write your business plan, because you're in the DBE program. And that is our role. We're going to challenge you. I'll tell you that now. We're going to challenge you to either think outside of the box or just really kind of question, what are you doing? Because again, if it's not clear to us and it's not clear to you, then it's not going to be clear to the businesses that you want to work with or the lenders that you want to get funding from. It's not going to be clear to your employees as well. Let me give you my thoughts on having someone from the outside write your business plan. I don't think it's a good idea. I know that people do that, and a lot of times they pay a lot of money for someone to write their business plan. I know that there may be very valid reasons for that. I hear business owners say that they had to hurry up and get it done. They were trying to get a loan. It was the one piece of information that the bank wanted, and they didn't have a business plan, and they didn't have time to write a business plan. Let me tell you why I don't agree with having an outside expert write your business plan or outsourcing the writing of your business plan. They don't have the heart of your business like you do. They don't know your business like you do. They can write it based on what you say. You may even be able to get the loan. But the purpose of a business plan is beyond, it's more than writing it to get a loan or to get funding or, that kind of a thing. It really is, if I can say, it's your guidebook or it's your Bible. It's the thing that once you write it, you don't set it on the shelf and put it away. You are going to use it daily. It is your guide for how you operate your business. Everything else is going to come out or should come out of your business plan, because you have a marketing section in your business plan. And so when you develop everything related to marketing, then it should be consistent with what you've written in your business plan. When you are defining your products and services in your business plan, then you're going to have to implement whatever those products and services are. If you're not consistent and constantly looking at your business plan, you very easily could get off track. But on the other hand, I've seen businesses that maybe they had certain products or certain services in their business plan that they are offering, and then an opportunity comes up, but it's not something that's in their business plan. But they can look at their business plan and see how whatever this opportunity is, complements what they're already doing, and it's very easy to put it into the plan without going totally off track from where you originally started. So I mentioned the scenario of a business owner trying to get funding, maybe from a bank or from some investors. And they've submitted all of their documentation, and the one last thing that they ask for is the business plan, and you don't have it. That's reactionary. Now you're in a crunch. Now you're just really throwing something together just to satisfy whatever your immediate need is. So your planning should never be reactionary. It actually should be done as consistently as you are doing your marketing and your bookkeeping. It should be integrated into your everyday management for your business. At a minimum, it should be an annual process and then worked constantly. Okay? So like now is a perfect time. It's January. November, December would have been even better to sit down with your team or on your own if you're a one-person business and write out your business plan or review the plan that you already had and tweak it for the next 3 years, and always make it a rolling, say 3 to 5 years. We used to say 5 years, then well actually they used to say 10-year plan, but you all know that things change so rapidly today that it's not completely realistic or necessary to write out a 10-year plan. If you can do that, that's fabulous. But even with that, you need to look at it on a rolling 3 years, okay? And so you always want to be looking at your plan. I've seen people write their business plan, it's glossy, looks beautiful, sitting on a shelf collecting dust. And that is not what a real business plan is all about. Who uses the business plan? I mentioned that there's 3 major audiences. It's going to be your internal management team, your potential lenders and investors, and I would say not just your potential ones, but even after you get the money, the lenders and the investors are still going to be very interested in your business plan, as well as any partners, advisors, or employees. When you think about your business plan, you've got to think about it from the perspective of these 3 audiences. And here's some of the things that they are going to be asking. So as you're writing your business plan or reviewing the one that you already have, start to ask yourself these questions, because these are the questions that if they're a lender, an employee, or a partner, that they're probably thinking about related to your business. Is your idea viable? Does this even make sense? Is it doable? Are the products or services something that's brand new for this industry? Are you creating an industry in and of itself? Is it something very unique? Or is it a better way? You heard the saying, a better way to build a mousetrap. Is it that? Those are the kinds of questions they're going to be asking you. Who are you catering to? Who is the business created for? Is there a new market out there? Is there any potential growth in this market? Is it going to be, kind of a one-hit wonder kind of a thing? Is this business something that is going to take off and grow? Do you have the cash flow capabilities? Are the sales projections even realistic? Even if they don't ask you these questions out loud, these are the things they're looking at as they're reviewing your business plan. So answer these questions for them. I think that this slide alone will help you to begin to define not only your business plan, but what I said earlier, clear and concise questions will help you do that, accomplish that goal. They're going to ask whether or not you really understand the priorities of your customers. Are you really in touch with what your customers need? And do you have a way to continue to identify what their needs are as their needs might be changing? Again, is your business concept clear, focused, and is it intelligently presented? Sometimes I work with businesses that are in the very creative, like in public relations, or they're just very creative kinds of fields. And they put out these beautiful business plans, glossy, full color, just immaculate. But I remember not too long ago reviewing one of those business plans, and it was so difficult to read because they were not clear. They were not focused. I actually had to read different sections to try to find the information that I was looking for because they didn't have it in a set kind of a template. So I think it's going to be very helpful for you that we are giving you a template that you can use as you are either writing your business plan or updating your business plan. I'm going to highly recommend that you use it because it really will help you make sure that you are focused and that your information is intelligently presented. One of the things that I'll talk more about when we get to the section on presenting your business plan is this. The person who's reading your business plan does not want to work hard. If you make it difficult because your concept is not clearly written, because you've presented it and it's written all over the place, it's not really focused and concise and understandable, it's going to make them not want to read it. And so you definitely don't want that to happen. One of the other questions they're going to be asking is your business concept based on sound research and analysis? You must do the research and analysis. I think a lot of businesses do believe that nobody is doing what they are doing. But you've got to do the research and the analysis. If that is the case, then you have to show that you've done your due diligence. Most businesses, they have been done before, or they are being done now. And so you're going to be expected to do some sound research and look at who are your competitors and analyze your customers, analyze your target market, analyze what are your products, are they the best products, what are your services. So that research and showing that in your business plan is going to be critical. Do you and the key people in the business have the experience? Especially with a number of new business owners or entrepreneurs, people who think they would like go into business and quit their job and start their own business. A lot of them will say to me, I have this idea, I have this dream, this vision, Deborah, and I want to start ABC kind of a business. And I have to ask them, okay, well, tell me about your background. You know, if you want to start a restaurant, have you ever worked in a restaurant? Have you done bookkeeping for a restaurant? I mean, have you had some involvement in the business of a restaurant? So that's the kind of thing that they're going to be looking at for your business. Is this just really a, kind of a pie in the sky idea that you have? Even if you're talking about growing the business that you've had for 10 or 15 or 20 years, wherever you're trying to take it, do you have the experience in that? Now, just because you don't have the experience, you personally, doesn't mean you can't do it. Have you hired the people? Do you have key people in your organization that do have the experience? That's really what that question is about. And can the business be profitable and service its debt? Now, that's really the bottom line question right there, especially for the lenders. Can you pay the money back? If we give you this money, can you pay it back? That's really the bottom line. This is a list of the major components. My approach to writing a business plan is pretty simple, and that is, don't work on the financial plan first, work on it last, because you don't know really what should go in the financial plan until you've done the rest of the business plan itself. Same thing with the executive summary. The executive summary is going to be a synopsis of the entire business plan. And so that's another one of those things that you're going to write last. Let me come out of the PowerPoint itself, and I'm going to show you the business plan template just in case you haven't seen it. Now, so this is the actual template, and what you're looking at there is the cover page. And so you're going to want your cover page to look like this. Check with your consultant if you absolutely have to use this cover page, like photo and all of that. I wouldn't think that you would, because you all have different businesses, but it needs to look generally like this. When you see the business plan template, this is the exact one. So we've tried to give you a description of each of the sections, what should go in every segment of the business plan. And it is very possible for us to give it to you in this format, because one of the things you'll be able to do is just work on each section, and because it's in a Word document, you'll be able to just move the space so that you can just work on each section. So that's something that you can ask whoever the consultant is that's working with you. Ask them for the Microsoft Word version of it, because at least for me, that makes it easier. You know, if I'm working on the industry analysis, then I can put space in here and just identify what the SIC codes are and the NACES codes are, and I know that I've covered that section, okay? And a lot of times I'll just put everything, all of the template part, in a different font color, so I know that I need to take all of that out. So these are the different sections. You see the executive summary, as I said, that's the last section, along with the financials that you should write. The industry analysis, the products and services, and you see all the information that should be in there, including your sales forecast and milestones for 3 years, because your business plan is written for 3 years. The market analysis section, there's a lot of information in the market analysis, and the business location. You know, where's your business going to be located and why are you locating it there? It could be something as simple as the address of your business, and the reason you have it located in that area is because you're close to a major airport and your clients are all over the country, or they're in Northern California and Southern California, and it gives you easy access. You know, it could be something that simple. Operations section, and then the organization plan. A lot of this is answering that question of who are the key people in the business and what is their experience. So one of the things that you may put in the appendices could be some bios or resumes for the key people. So where it says owner or owners and your qualifications, that's the section that I'm talking about. Outside resources needed over the next 3 years. If you don't have an in-house attorney, it could be your attorney. It could be your CPA. Those would be outside resources needed over the next 3 years. And then the financial plan segment you may need to have up to 5 pages for an executive summary. A lot of lenders or other potential stakeholders, they're going to read your executive summary, and if it is compelling, then they will read the rest of the business plan. If your executive summary is not compelling, then you may make a decision strictly based on your executive summary and your financials. Sometimes they may not, unless they have a question and want more detail, they may not look at some of the other sections. Okay, then if you have not written a business plan, or if you do not have an up-to-date business plan, then I definitely would use this template because I think it's pretty simple. Sometimes people make writing the business plan very difficult, and it's really not. Again, it may be just how I work. I don't think there's any rhyme or reason except the things that I've already said. Do your executive summary towards the end and do your financials towards the end, because in reality you can't write either one of those sections until you have done the other parts. So my approach to writing the business plan is whatever section I'm, really feeling like, okay, I'm in a flow, this is making sense, I'm really doing well on writing this, that's the section I work on. So other than that, I don't think that there's any rhyme or reason, start here, start there, start there. It's whatever makes sense to you for your business. It may be the industry analysis. It may be that you already know what your products and services are, and so you do that section. Wherever you already have the information, start plugging it in. I believe in the program you have up to 6 months from the time you get in the program to complete your business plan. And what I would recommend to you is that you work with your consultant and that you lay out some milestones as far as time frames, and maybe break it up into a third in writing your business plan so that it doesn't feel so overwhelming. All right, so we're moving right along with technology here. That's good. Now, having seen the template, I hope that all these different sections or components of the business plan make more sense. So just to dive a little bit deeper, one of the sections that you're going to really need to address in your business plan is the market, and really identifying what is your market potential. Who's the market that you're trying to reach? You may have to look at it by demographics, psychographics. You're going to be looking at, what age groups, depending on what kind of business you have. Who are the businesses that you're trying to reach besides Caltrans? Would assume all of you are or want to do business with Caltrans, but what does that look like? If you could do business with Caltrans, then there's certainly other organizations like Caltrans out there that you also may be able to do business with. So you really need to clearly define your market potential. And then the competitive analysis, I talked a little bit about that before. Who's your competition? More than likely, you all have some sort of competition. Who are the top 5 competitors? Why are they your competitors? And I believe that we do have a template that will help you figure that all out. Forecasting your profits. All of that is going to go in that one section. And then analyzing your SWOT. If you don't know, most people know what SWOT stands for: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And you're going to do that on your financials. You're going to do a SWOT on your managerial staff, and you're going to do a SWOT on your technical side of your business. So a lot of times we think that we just need to do one SWOT, but we want you to look at your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats related to your finances, your financial picture, your management team, as well as the technical aspects of your business. One of those things that you might want to, that you should consider is maybe even the regulatory environment. That's maybe on the technical side. There may be some things that you don't have complete control over in your business. And so that's where your SWOT will help you quite a bit. One of the other segments identifying your targets for your business development. So we want to see how are you going to develop business in the future. What are your objectives? What are your goals? What are your goals? Probably your goals would be first, and the objectives would be underneath your goals. And then you're going to need to forecast your budget based on your current amount of work and any new work that you're expecting to receive. The one that a lot of times people are not as clear about is threat, or difference between weakness and threat. When I first started my business, I'll give you an example from mine. And I have a service business providing, business coaching and consulting. And so when I first started my business, I had a brand new vehicle. It was a string. And the longer I stayed in business, of course, I put lots of miles on my vehicle. So it started to age and became more of a weakness because, okay, what if something happens and I can't get to an appointment or, do service my clients the way that I need to. So now what was a strength is kind of starting to become maybe a weakness, and I need to think about, pay attention to this vehicle. And of course, I'm one of those people, I don't really like to buy cars. I kind of wait until I need to buy a car. And so it became a threat. Now, why was it a threat? It became a threat because it had 305,000 miles on it. And even though I had AAA, I could very easily have broken down. On the road, I very easily have not made appointments, truly missed appointments, which would have impacted my credibility and reputation and ultimately my business. So you need to think about what are those strengths, weaknesses, what are those opportunities, and those threats that could actually derail your business completely. Okay? Want me to give you an example of an opportunity? We provide various types of training and business coaching. I had one of my clients who came to me and said, I would like you to be my human resources department. And that was not in my business plan. It was not something that I envisioned our company doing. And I told him I didn't want to be an employee. Everything at that point was not looking positive. But he kept insisting that he wanted. I went back to my office, talked with the team. We looked at our business plan. We looked at what we were already doing and what we were capable of doing. Part of our training related to staffing and employees and human resource kinds of issues. We very quickly saw that, if I can say it this way, what we were doing in a kind of an a la carte way, that we could bundle together in a package as a package service, and we could provide him the service that he was looking for without becoming an employee, without adding additional expense. And so it became another revenue stream that we didn't know was even there. But the reason we do it is because we had a clear business plan. We knew what our products and services were, and we used our business plan as our management guide. So we're going to switch gears and go to contingency planning. As I said in the beginning, a lot of people think, I don't want to exit my plan. I don't want to exit my business. I want to grow my business. I'm in it for the long haul, but you really do need to think about an exit strategy right now as you're developing your business plan if it has not been something that you've considered in the past. So let's talk about why you need to do that. There actually may be better opportunities someplace else. Life changes and things in our lives change. As I said in the beginning, the original reasons that you started your business may no longer exist. And one of the other classes that we are offering, and you might want to enroll in this, on January 19th, I'm going to be doing a class on managing your business, and it's in the afternoon from 2 to 4. And so we're going to get into some information about reasons that people start their business. And it's not something that, especially when we've been in business for a while, it's not something that we tend to think about why am I really in this business? You know, it could be that you decided that you wanted to have your own business because the people you were working for, never let you implement your ideas, or you knew that you had better ideas than they did, or, I mean, there's all kinds of reasons. But whatever those reasons are, do they still exist, or have those things changed? So it could be that a reason that you want out of your business is because better opportunities have come up elsewhere. It could be that you're now bored and want a new challenge. Maybe you've taken it as far as you want to go. You've accomplished everything that you wanted to achieve. Or maybe you do want it to grow, but you don't think that you have the skills or the desire to take it to the next level. I don't think that any of you are nonprofits, but I will tell you that a lot of times people will start a nonprofit because they have a passion about something, and then they can only go so far with it, and sometimes they end up killing the organization because they don't want to let it go. They don't want to bring somebody else in. It's their baby. But they lack the skills to take it to that next level. And so I want you to think about that for your business. Do you actually have the skills to take it to the next level, or do you have the desire to do what it takes to get it to the next level? That could be a real reason for you to want out. No longer willing to work the long hours. Now, we say 70 hours a week, but I'm sure there's some of you on this webinar that are saying you're doing more than 70 a week. And you've got to think about how long do you really want to do that? And is it worth it? Have you had potential health changes? So lots of things, where you don't think you would want out of your business, but you've got to consider what if these things happen? Okay, maybe you just want to diversify your assets, or that your interests have changed, or you have partners and your partners are no longer fully engaged the way they originally were. They are not as passionate as you are, and all the work is falling on you. Do you want to continue to do that? And then some of us are just ready for retirement. So those are some reasons. You may have some other reason that you think of. It may not be your reason right now, but we want you to consider what are some reasons that would cause you to want to get out of your business. So once you've thought about the reasons that you might want to get out, how are you going to get out? Now, that's the next step. Here's some common scenarios that people have used to decide to exit their business. Are you going to sell the business, sell it to an individual or to another company? Maybe let your partners take it over if you have partners, a family member if that works for you. Maybe you just have stock and you can sell your stock in the company and you exit that way, sell it in a public offering. The one you don't want to do is have someone show you to the door. If you're a corporation, you have a board, and so therefore, you could be shown to the door. And the other one that you definitely don't want is a business failure. So once again, these are solid reasons to write your business plan so that you know exactly where you are at all times within your business. Too many people go down the road of developing their business and they can get themselves into trouble and they don't necessarily understand where they are in that process, and they just keep working and working and working. And, once again, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different outcome. And so you don't want to get to the place to where one day you just have to close the doors because you absolutely have no choice. If you develop a contingency plan, then you can see those kinds of things coming down the road and you can effectively change course. It's just something for you to think about, and we are moving forward to the polished presentation. I think this is pretty straightforward here, and certainly your presentation needs to be no errors with the spelling and the grammar. And if you're like me, once I've written something and I've spent time on it, I can't see the errors anymore. So that means that you need to have somebody else read through it, whether it's the PowerPoint or the business plan or whatever documents that you're presenting. You need to make sure that you do not have typos and grammatical errors. Even though people should not judge you on that, sometimes they will. Even if it's just from the standpoint of how much time did you really take to write the plan or develop the presentation if you didn't see typos in it, okay? It can be presented in a hard folder or a binder, but I've already talked about that. And don't gold plate it, if I can say it that way. Don't make it real fancy unless they are requesting that. I have been a part of panels where we've been reviewing business plans and people have come in, even though we've said one staple left-hand corner, they have come in spiral bound or 3-ring binder or whatever. And because it's a team that is reviewing it, we've had to literally tear them apart. There's no reason for you to spend that kind of money unless they are asking you to do that. And it can just simply be an irritation to the people who are reviewing the plan. So making sure that it is on quality paper, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be on glossy paper or on bond paper or anything like that, all right? Whoever is going to be reviewing the plan, your business plan, and I don't mean in this program, because I've already said in this program, you're going to submit an electronic copy of it, unless somewhere down the road we ask you for something different. But I personally don't see that happening, but we will let you know if we do. But the people that I'm talking about now are those audiences like the lenders that are going to be asking those questions when they're reviewing it, or potential funders, investors. Could be people that you want to come onto your management team. Those are the people that I'm talking about. Charts and graphs are always good, but definitely in a consistent style. Make sure that your presentation is clear, it's to the point, and it's easy to read. And the last one that you see there is absolutely critical, And I think especially with some of the businesses that you have, you probably do have some industry-specific terms or jargon or acronyms. And so using acronyms, the very first time that you use it, you need to spell it out so that people know what that acronym stands for. And then if it's some kind of a term, then you want to make sure that you define it. Don't assume everybody that's reviewing your business plan understands your industry. They may not at all, okay? Or whatever your process is, or your product. They may not understand that at all. Proofread the plan. I've talked about that. And ask someone to review your plan who may not even understand exactly what you do, because they're going to be the ones that are going to be able to tell you, I don't understand it. They're going to be the ones that are going to say, well, what does this mean? What does this term mean? Or what does that acronym stand for? So keep an open mind to their input, what they're telling you about your plan. Don't get defensive. Obviously, you're going to pick somebody who is interested in helping you and grow your business and support you. And so therefore, don't get defensive when they give you, what you might consider bad news, or they don't understand what you're actually trying to say in the plan. You may think it's very, very clear, and they may say, hey, yeah, it's clear as mud, okay? That's having a polished presentation. So the other thing that this means, to accomplish what I just shared, it means you can't wait until the last minute. It means that you are going to have to develop timeline for creating your business plan and enough time in there to get it reviewed by more than one person, because different people are going to look for different things. If you have 6 months within this program to complete your business plan, don't wait until the last month to get it written. I'm going to go right back to setting milestones with your coach and doing a third, a third, a third. Having your coach review the first third of it, whatever you've written as the first third, and giving you feedback, and then adding the second segment and giving you feedback, tying it all together, and then the third section, now you have a complete draft, and having them review it again, and then doing all the final sections on it, and a last review. Now, let's say that you have to present it in person. I do not believe you need to do that for this program. I have not heard anyone say that. But let's say that you do want to go for an investment or for a loan. These are pretty straightforward. Dress clean and professional. Let me say one other thing, though. If you, I know none of you I don't think anybody is a farmer, has a farm for a business. But let's say that you are a farmer and you are going to present to the Farmers Association, okay? Dress appropriately for the people that you're going to be dealing with. So if you're going to a bank, then dress appropriately for going to talk to the bankers. If you're going to talk to the Farmers Association, dress appropriately for the Farmers Association, whatever that actually means. Consider your audience is what I'm saying to you in the way that you are dressing. Speak slowly and clearly. Look directly and confidently at your audience. People want eye contact. They want to know that you have confidence in your business, that you are enthused about what you are doing, even passionate about what you are doing, and that you know your stuff. Be prepared and budget your time in advance. If you were to go to a bank or a lender, any kind of funding source, and they say, we're going to give you 15 minutes to do your presentation. Make sure you plan for a 5-minute presentation. Things change. You might get there and they say, you know what, we only have 5 minutes. Could you present what you defined in 15 minutes in 5? And giving them the very salient points of what you want them to know about your business. So just because they say you have 30 minutes or 15 or 10 minutes, you may end up having 2 or 3 minutes. Okay? So know that going in, and that way you won't be rattled when they do tell you that you have less time than you thought. Okay, so doing the actual presentation, let me see if I can get rid of this. Okay, so doing the actual presentation, I kind of talked about this a little bit. This is where you use your executive summary and you make it very compelling in the first 30 seconds. You want to grab their attention in the first 30 seconds. And let's say you only have, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever it might be. Use the remaining time that you have to share the details and the supporting information of what you said in that first 30 seconds. Make sure that you are giving them a clear conclusion and what you want from the listener. Tell them what you want from them. People will say, what is your ask? What are you asking for? What's that one reason that you went in there that one thing you went in there to get? When you walk out, you're going to ask yourself, did I reach my goal? Did I get what I wanted? Did I get it across to them? Whether they said yes or no, is a different story. But did you ask? Did you tell them what your clear conclusion was and what you wanted from them? An easy way to do a presentation in 2 to 3 minutes or even 5 minutes is to use some simple charts and tables just to clarify your ideas and to focus their attention on what you're saying. Okay? All right. So having said that, we're moving on. So just some final thoughts about business planning and writing a business plan. Spend the time to do a quality job on your business plan. Don't take it as just a one-time shot because you're in the program. Please really use it as your managerial tool, because certainly a weak plan can be fatal. No plan can be even worse. Okay? You see some reasons there why it could be fatal, but I really want you to be honest when you're creating your plan, honest with yourself. One of the things that I have seen people do as they write their business plan, they think they know exactly what they want to do and how they want to get there in their business. And then they sit down and they start writing out their business plan, and they realize that the things that they had in their head about what they want to do and how they want to get there are not really what they're passionate about. So let me just tell you this. If you are in your business strictly just simply to make money, it may not be a compelling enough reason. That may be hard to hear But you really need to be honest with yourself when you're creating your plan about what your business really is, what you want to accomplish in your business, how you want to move forward. So a realistic business plan is really going to help you identify your weaknesses as well as your strengths. It's going to help you identify even what people you need to bring in that maybe have different skills and experience that you don't have right now, or those outside people that are considered resources that you could bring on board as contractors to your company or something like that. So think about those kinds of things. We do not want you to be a slave to your plan. I gave you my example of the client who wanted me to do human resources work, and I didn't think that I could or should, but because I had a plan, I was able to see how it really was an opportunity that I hadn't even identified. Just remember that this is a working document. It's not in concrete. You can change it. You should change it. You should be monitoring it the entire time as you are working so you can see whether or not you're on target, whether or not you're on goal. Are you meeting your projections that you set in your business plan? If not, then something needs to change. Maybe the work that you're doing, the way that you're doing the work, or maybe it's your projections. With that, I want to thank you for participating in the webinar.